We are going to continue with solving linear equations today, so similar to what we did yesterday. And I'm just going to walk you through a few more examples just to refresh your memory. So we'll just take a look at question 1 here. Again, like I had said yesterday, that you want to combine any like terms that you have on each side of the equation first. So on the right-hand side of this equation, you have an 8a and another 3a. So we can add those terms together. And then this is going to look like an 11 equals 11a. And then that 11a on the right-hand side is really 11 times a. So to undo that multiplication, we're going to go ahead and divide both sides by 11. And then 11 divided by 11 is just 1. So we have 1 equals a. Again, like I had mentioned yesterday, we can always check our work for all algebraic equations by plugging our solution into the original. So 8 times 1 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. So that solution does check out. Taking a look here at, we'll go down to example 3. We have negative 7x plus x. We can combine those two together because they're like terms within the same side of the equation. Remember that this x here is really just a 1x. So if we take negative 7 plus 1, that's a negative 6x equals 0. And then again, negative 6 times x, we're going to undo that multiplication with division. So dividing both sides by negative 6 is going to be x equals 0. Again, we can check that solution by plugging into the original. Negative 7 times 0 is 0. 1 times 0 is 0. So 0 plus 0 is 0. If we look down to question number 10, for example, this one's a little bit more involved because you have some distributing going on. So you're always going to do that distributing first. So over here with question 10, if I distribute this negative 5, again, only to items in the parentheses immediately following, I end up with a negative 25m plus 25 equals, and then on the right, a negative 29 minus 7m. So now I don't have any like terms on either side of the equation, so I need to start moving items to the other side. Like I had said yesterday, I like to keep my variable term positive if I can. So I'm going to go ahead and add 25m to both sides of the equation. So over here I have a 25. And then on the right-hand side, I have that negative 29. And then I have a negative 7m plus 25. So that's going to give me a positive 18m. And then I can go ahead and move that negative 29 over. So I'm going to add 29 to both sides of the equation. So when I do that, I have 54 equals 18m. And then again, that 18 is multiplied by the m. So I can go ahead and divide both sides by 18. This is going to kind of carry over question 12 a little bit. So then 54 divided by 18 will give me 3 equals m. And just like yesterday, we'll take a look at one final example where you have two sets of parentheses, so you're going to have to distribute twice. So in number 20, we're going to take that 5 and distribute it to the terms inside of the parentheses. So 5 times 2v will give us 10v, and then 5 times 3 will give us 15. And then that negative 3v just gets carried down because it wasn't within the parentheses, so we don't distribute it to. And then over here on the right-hand side, we're going to distribute the 8. So we've got equals 8 times negative 6 is going to be a negative 48. And then 8 times 2v will be plus 16v. Before I start moving anything around, I would combine like terms on the left-hand side of the equation here. So a 10v minus 3v will be a 7v plus 15 equals, and then on the right-hand side, we've got that negative 48 plus 16v. Then we're going to go ahead and get those v terms together. So I'm going to subtract 7v from both sides. So on the left, I have a 15. On the right, I have negative 48. And then I have the 16v minus 7v. So that'll be a plus 9b. And I want to move this 48 over, so I'm going to add it. And when I do that, I end up with 64 equals 9b. And then I can go ahead and divide both sides by 9. That's not 64. Hang on, let me fix that. $63. And then when we divide 63 by 9, that gives us 7. So just like you did yesterday, you're going to finish this worksheet for homework, and then you can submit the picture of your work or scanned copy of your work through Schoology. Like yesterday, you'll get credit for completing the assignment, and then we'll go over any questions that you had from the assignment in your next synchronous meeting. So what I would recommend is you go through, if there are any problems that caused you particularly or particular difficulty, maybe just make a note of those so we can make sure we start with those in your next synchronous meeting. As I said yesterday, feel free to send me an email in the meantime if you have questions about any of these problems.